Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to do a landscape in Unreal Engine. I'm using 4.26, so the modes aren't here anymore, they're here. So if you click onto that and you can click onto landscape, it will give you this option. I'm going to be showing you a plugin that you can also get called Brushify. So I'll clear this at the minute, so the people who aren't using Brushify and just want to know how to use the landscape can just use the landscape, and then I'll show you guys who want to use Brushify in the future how to use Brushify. So I'll show you how to use the landscape at the minute. So this is at the minute. This is properties on the left hand side. You choose a size here. You've got scale, rotation, location. If we want to create this, we just hit that create, and then we've got all these options here: sculpt, smooth, flatten, ramp, all this kind of stuff here. So what we can do is we can sculpt it. We can create hills. As you see, it's creating hills, and then we can smooth out if we want to. We can make a ramp if we want to do that. So you go there, add ramp. Cool. We've got erosion, hydro, noise, all this kind of stuff. Noise is pretty good for kind of creating some mountains in the background. And then say if you don't want, you want to flatten this a bit, just can do smooth. So yeah, that's how you. That's kind of the basics of doing it. You got total strength, all this kind of stuff, brush size, all this here, and you can start just painting hills in if you like to. It's totally up to you what you want to do afterwards. If you want to don't know, say if you want to paint in grass, you'd have to go to modes and foliage and start painting. Like you drag some foliage in that you've downloaded or you've created and start painting that in. It's totally up to you guys. But that's kind of the basic of creating a landscape. If you want to know how to paint kind of grass or desert sand on here, I'll show you that now. So if I just X out of this, delete this landscape. So this is going to be using Brushify environment shaders pack. I got it for free because they sometimes release stuff for free each month. But I think it's £8 now, so it's up to you guys if you want to buy it. But it is definitely worth it. I'll show you guys how to use it now. If you want to download that, go modes, landscape. If we go to Brushify, go to multi biome, materials override, and then we just need to bring this landscape into there. What I suggest doing before you actually drag it is double click it so the shaders build. I've already built my shaders, so I don't have to worry about that, but that could crash your system just dragging it straight into there. So sometimes double click it so it kind of compiles the shaders, and then that's fine. And then once you've done this, just create that. It's like totally black now, so you can't see it. But what we can do now is start to paint our stuff on, and then you'll be able to see it. So what we can do is we can just add. We need to kind of save it to a place. So let's say we want grass. Let's just say we have to go weight blended layer normal. Let's go into Brushify and let's just choose. Let's create a new folder underneath that. Let's just say grass. Okay. It should start compiling the shaders now, and some grass texture should come up. There you go. So you see you've got this grass texture. If you go in here, let me just turn the speed down on my camera so you can actually see it. So it's given us this. Okay, so what we can do now, if we zoom all the way out, cool. You've got this grid here, and to get rid of these grids, all you have to do is actually build it. So if we just quickly build it now. That's done. That grid kind of thing's gone now. So yeah, you can kind of add this stuff. I mean, we can just do go into Brushify again. Let's just put in grass. Okay. We can kind of just choose different stuff to use and paint on. At the minute it's compiling shaders, that's why it does that. That's just the thing when you download one of these packs, it has all these materials in, it has to compile all these shaders and it doesn't do it automatically sometimes. But you can see I'm kind of painting this stuff on now. You see the grass coming through? So I can just paint this stuff on now. So if we go over here, you can see there's grass now. It's compiling there. That's not because I painted that stuff up. There's other stuff on it, just need to compile. But see if the first kind of grass texture I put on here, it instantly gives you grass when you go up, and it's randomized as well. You see there's kind of different flowers and stuff. But as you can see here, I'm starting to paint other stuff in. So Let's just paint that. It won't look that tiled when you, because obviously if you go out, you have a look, it looks a lot better. At some stages where you look, it can look quite tiled. Once you go into the actual level, then you start walking around, you won't notice it. But this is kind of dry grass that I'm painting on, or I've got desert here. Start painting on the desert. Ooh, I just need to add it to. You have to keep adding it to the file. There you go. Sorry, I should. I think it might. There you go. Again, it's compiling the shaders as well. But once you start finding it's actually it's quite cool because you can just paint stuff in. But you see we've got sand now. Obviously the grass is still coming through because we've actually I've put the grass layer underneath it. But obviously you wouldn't want to have a couple different paints in here at the same time because otherwise it's going to do this. It's going to have grass coming through in the sand. Cool. So we've got our rubber tool there. What basically just makes it black again. What we kind of need, just because the grass is coming through. Just say we want, okay, I don't know, some grass here and some snow on this side. Let's compile the shaders, but we can just start rubbing this away. We don't need this anymore, so it's kind of going back to what it was in the beginning. It kind of looks like we're burning it. So we're just rubbing it off at the minute, and say, I don't know, we want some. What should we have? We should have some. So let's do some snow. I think that'd be quite a cool effect. Again, add it. I know I'm adding this to grass. You could probably make a better file. Cool. Snow, and then see how that turns out. Cool. So there you go. You got snow. It puts rocks on there as well, what's pretty cool. And then what you can do is go over back to landscape. We don't have to go to paint, we just go sculpt. And then we can just kind of start sculpting stuff. It's creating mountains for us. I didn't actually realize it did that. That's really cool. It creates like I guess the higher it gets, it creates rocks and stuff. That's really cool. That's actually new to me. I didn't realize that even happened. Uh, we'll put noise in there. Let's see what that does. It's automatically creating it. Was really cool. And then even if we do that, it's creating some sort of rock texture. It's keeping the snow there as well though. So you can do that. I mean, it's worth getting. I didn't even realize it automatically did that. What's great. That's really cool. But you can just kind of go through, and obviously this is gonna have a different texture because it's obviously grass. So, but yeah, this is Brushify. This is how it works. If you guys have any more questions, give me a shout on Teams. But so far, this is what it looks like. Regardless of the landscape as well, just use this toolbar. If you're using 2.6, it's going to be in modes, and you have to choose it here. If you're using anything before that, it should be on the left-hand side.